our obligation to take you.
At the dawn of the 20th century, there is no hiding from New York City's newly powerful Department of Health.
There is very little that a Board of Health cannot do in the way of interfering with personal and property rights for the protection of public health.
And with good reason. The city slums are overflowing with poor immigrants. Conditions are horrific. Infectious disease is out of control.
Children were dying of intestinal diseases, of diarrheas. Tuberculosis, whooping cough, and diphtheria were endemic.
But not here. Oyster Bay, Long Island is another world altogether. A place upper-crust New Yorkers go to escape the city. But suddenly this privileged enclave becomes vulnerable. A deadly disease, typhoid fever, strikes the household of a wealthy banker. How it got here is a mystery that confounds the experts.
I was disappointed. Try as I would, I could not find anything wrong.
Only within the last 20 years have health officials come to understand that disease is caused by invisible microbes or germs. This knowledge will lead them to an unsuspecting Irish immigrant, a servant named Mary Mallon.
They called her, I love this phrase, she is a human culture tube. You know, this pestilential entity that must be stopped.
Get out of my kitchen!
Miss Mellon, please.
Get out of my
I beseech
kitchen!
you in the
They
name
call her Typhoid Mary. Her story will make history and raise challenging questions we still face today.
Keep going!
It is the prime dilemma in public health. How do you protect the health of the masses of the people if it is jeopardized by an individual whose liberty you are thinking of taking away?
I am an innocent human being. The contention that I am a perpetual menace in the spread of typhoid germs is not true.
An innocent victim or a murderous villain? The tragic story of the most dangerous woman in America, right now on Nova.
Corporate funding for Nova is provided by Sprint and Microsoft. Additional funding is provided by the Park Foundation, dedicated to education and quality television.
This program has been made possible by the National Endowment for the Humanities, expanding America's understanding for more than 30 years of who we were, who we are, and who we will be.
And by the National Library of Medicine. Major funding for Nova is also provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by PBS viewers like you. Thank you.
ABC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
On a cold night in March 1944, captured Allied airmen broke out through a secret tunnel from a prison camp the Nazis thought was escape-proof. Their breakout was immortalized in The Great Escape, a famous movie starring Steve McQueen.
Interesting idea. How many are you taking out? 250. 250? Yeah. You're crazy.
The group of airmen had spent months digging 3 tunnels to freedom. A few of the men are alive today to tell the tale.
If you're claustrophobic, you're in deep trouble. You're in stitched darkness and 30 feet in sand. That's when you kind of wondered sometimes, what in the hell am I doing here?
The atmosphere was fraught. We knew that the Germans were certain that there was a tunnel. And the gamble was who would get there first, the Germans or us. The Germans to find it or us to get out.
As a cat-and-mouse game, It was deadly serious, with the Nazis determined to make escape impossible. "60 years later, archaeologists have located the remains of the camp and are trying to recover some of the ingenious devices made by the POWs.
Somebody's made that to escape from this camp. And it's there. Yeah, it's hidden. Yeah. And we're the only people to have seen this since 1945.
Where prisoners once used bare hands, archaeologists will use backhoes to hunt for a secret escape tunnel the Germans never found. With veterans who worked on the tunnels watching, the excavation will reveal the incredible exploits of the prisoners.
I never thought in my lifetime I'd ever get to see something like this.
And for them to do that with 30 feet of sand above them, you come away with a lot of respect for those guys.
Up next on Nova, a classic tale of courage and ingenuity. The real Great Escape.
Corporate funding for NOVA is provided by Sprint and Microsoft. Additional funding is provided by the Park Foundation, dedicated to education and quality television. And by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
ABC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
The great Judean desert, south of Jerusalem and west of the Dead Sea, the land of the ancient prophets of the Hebrew Bible, the land of King David and King Solomon, the land of Jesus and the early Christians. Here, high above a deep, forbidding canyon, is a mysterious cave known as the Cave of Letters. Historians believe that 2,000 years ago, this desolate cave was used as a hideaway by Jewish refugees escaping the oppressive rule of the Roman Empire. But what actually happened here? What desperation could have driven people to this nearly inaccessible place? What can the ancient letters and objects found here tell us about their plight?
Are there any more heavy backpacks over here?
Richard Freund, a professor of Jewish history, is mounting a new expedition to the Cave of Letters, determined to unravel its deep secrets.
Head 'em up, move 'em out. So you have Roman source, you have Christian source, you have Jewish source, that all say the same thing.
Freund's busload of archaeologists and historians is in for an arduous journey. A journey that will force them to confront long-held beliefs about biblical history.
Okay, go get a helmet. Make sure you pick out one that works for you.
The trek begins on top of the cliff, then down a steep path to the level of the cave. It continues across a sheer cliff face on a series of narrow ledges, and finally, up to the cave itself. The path wanders precariously 650 feet above the canyon floor. Lawrence Schiffman, a world-renowned scholar of the Dead Sea Scrolls, is determined to complete the climb, although he's admittedly a man more at home in a library than on a cliffside.
There's no question, it's not an easy thing for me to be here.
You're holding on for dear life, and then when you finally get to the ledges and you climb sideways along these very, very dangerous ledges where you have a 600-foot drop below you, you're just hoping, okay, let's get this over with.
One last challenge. a 50-foot climb up to the cave's entrance. Soon, the real quest can begin. Schiffman, Freund, and their colleagues will be able to explore a place that's intrigued historians and biblical scholars for decades. A place that may reveal secrets that have been held for thousands of years. Ancient Refuge in the Holy Land, right now on Nova.
Corporate funding for Nova is provided by Sprint and Microsoft. Additional funding is provided by the Park Foundation, dedicated to education and quality television.
This program has been made possible by the National Endowment for the Humanities, expanding America's understanding for more than 30 years of who we were, who we are, and who we will be.
And by the National Library of Medicine. Major funding for Nova is also provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by PBS viewers like you. Thank you.
ABC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.